Today I'm drawing in marker pens in Tayasui Sketches. Hi everyone, Steve Elliott here again in Tayasui Sketches. I thought I would try something completely different today. I've never used marker pens in any digital app before, and I very rarely use marker pens in real life. I have used them a little bit, and if you look at my Inktober series from not last year, the year before, I used them quite a bit, just not necessarily for doing complete drawings, but more for just filling in with. So I thought I'd give them a go, and the second I put them down, I realised that you could build up the strength of colour just by keep overlaying the marker, as it were. So I like that straight away. If you keep the marker on the screen and move it around, it just stays at one level of layer of ink, if you like. If you lift it up and put it down, it's like putting another layer over the top of it. And I found straight away that felt so natural for building up the shadows in the tree. So that's what I was doing. I was sort of just sort of picking the pen up, making little marks and putting it down again and building them up. And I'm using the weird Tayasui colour mixer. If you see bottom right, you can have like one colour on the left, which I've got as blue, and one on the right, which I've got as white. And then I can select off the slider any colour between them. I've just changed it to yellow there, you see, so I can change the density of the colour or the saturation. I could do it with the opacity, I suppose, but unless I wanted to obliterate the colour below it. And I also found, which was a bit weird, you could use white as a marker pen and paint over what you'd already got there, and you can erase it out. So that is nothing like using a marker pen at all. But very, very useful in digital painting. Here you are, look, at this point, I've realised I can use white to draw over it, and I start flicking in these reeds with that. And then I use a very opaque colour just to colour them in a little bit later on. So, yeah, I mean, you'd have to use a white highlighter pen or something to do that in with traditional paint. But anyway, it works great in digital, and I'm really feeling that this water is not working brilliantly well. The trees came together just so fast, and I did them in minutes, and then I started on the water. If I was doing this in watercolour or oils even, I wouldn't have any trouble with it, and that I would have got that water in straight away. But I'm just not feeling it. It feels a little bit messy, and I keep working on it and working on it. You see, I'm adding a little bit of dark colour underneath the trees there, and a few more leaves. And I'm doing that to take my mind off the water and thinking, what am I going to do with that next? I'm really pleased with the top half, but I just don't feel like that water is working at all. So then I go in and start lifting out. And I realise if I use the opacity and knock it down, I can sort of lift it out gradually. And I'm thinking, oh man, this isn't working. It's not working. I'm crashing and burning. What am I going to do? So I get the eraser and I just lift it all out. I think, you know what? Let's do it again. And I take this opportunity to lift the sketch up a little bit to give me a bit more area for painting in the water. And I do a different approach where I block in some solid colour, and then I start painting in these or drawing in these little shapes and filling them in with that. And you have to do all of that without taking your nib off the canvas or screen. Otherwise you start getting a darker overlay. And I'm feeling, at this point, I'm thinking, this is going the same way. I've got to be careful here. But I'm taking my time, and I'm not overly feeling it at the minute, and at this point I'm thinking, should I rub it out again? And then it's when I put that blue in, that second layer of blue, I thought, oh no, wait, this is working. I can make this work just by bringing those two tree reflections together with the blue. I try some greens and overlay that, set the blend mode to multiply and change the opacity, and I'm thinking, no, it's got to go. So I delete that. So clearly I've not used this medium before because I'm trying lots of different things and messing around and deleting something. Then I create a new layer and set the opacity to screen, and then choose some very light colours and start painting these ripples in the water. And then I'm thinking, oh yeah, now it's working. Now I feel like I'm getting somewhere. And then I start with the darker colours again, putting them in, and I'm thinking, you know what? You don't want reflections darker than the shadows on the land. They need to be lighter. So I go back to the light colour and think, bear that in mind, Steve. Don't start putting darker colours in your reflections. It just will not work. And I'm trying different things. But that is it. That is my simple sketch with marker pens in Tayasui Sketches. I had a lot of fun doing it. I hope you've liked it. If you have, a big thumbs up as always would be much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because I have lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.